Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost, welcome to HOTFIX. And I think I may have just said ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome a little bit too early before the recording kicked in, so that might have cut off. Another amazing start to HOTFIX, which is of course the world's greatest video game podcast. Right, so you may notice, ladies and gentlemen, that we do have a very special guest. Although at the moment you can't see anything, all you can see are a pair of pillows and a box of some sort of dog-based treat. So when I say, McGee, come here, McGee, come here. Come on. Here, McGee. Come here, McGee. What are you after?
Premier Gaming Podcast.
Oh, look, here's McGee, right? Here's the McGee, right? Can you see how it's looking over there? The reason why it's looking over there is because it knows there's a bag of, like,
The stare.
Baker's Dental Delicious, they're called. Right?
Good Lord.
You want him, don't you, McGee? You want him, McGee? All right then, McGee. I'm going to go full McGee. Are you ready for this stream, chat, video, stream? I'm off my face. It's OBS, that's why I'm calling it stream. Whatever. Here we go. Okay, now we're on full McGee cam, but you can't see anything. So I'm going to release the McGee. Sky, go and get it. Fetch it in. Fetch it in. There you go. There's the McGee. He's going to fetch me the bag of goodies. Fetch it in, Sky. Yes, good girl. Show the camera. Yeah, come here. Come here. I'm going to go back to HOTFIX. Come here, you got him. Okay, show me what you've got.
This is
What you got, Sky? What you got, Sky?
Jesus Christ.
Is that your bag of goodies? Give it nice. Yeah, wait. So, I'm going to release the hound over there and give it a stick of Baker's Dental Delight, which will hopefully keep it under control.
You know what? Meanwhile, in my household, that's all I've got.
Hey, this dog treat smells well nice. McGee, take it nice.
Oh,
Take it on your pillow.
I've messed up the camera. Messed up the camera.
Take it on your pillow. Right, there you go. Get on your pillow. That's it. Chew your thing on your pillow. McGee's like black as night. It's so black, that dog is. Jesus. It's like, look at it. There you go, McGee. You just chill. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to HOTFIX. It is amazing. So
It is
Mr.
the
Kirill,
best gaming podcast.
I'm gonna tell you what I've been playing this week, but we're not allowed to say we've been playing GTA 5 because that's a whole new section when we get to it.
Yeah.
So I have been playing Titan Souls, and I played Axiom Verge, and I think me and you just about played STO, but you can tell us about that. Because I know you've literally played nothing else apart from a certain other game, Mr. Kirill. Get on your pillow. Go away.
It's
Get on your pillow.
addictive.
Get on your pillow. Get on your pillow. You got on your pillow. What do you want to talk to me like that for? On your pillow.
There's no way she's going to understand that, is there?
Sky. On your pillow. Do it. Do
As
it.
soon as the camera turns on, she turns into a right diva. She's like, no, I demand another bag of treats, and only then will I do what I'm told.
You're not getting it. You'll get the back of my hand. Don't lick me.
You know, actually, I played Titan Souls as well, thinking about it.
No,
I
hang
knew
on.
demo,
No,
though.
shut up, bloke. I've been playing. Whatever, McGee. You can just sit there. You can look at McGee's neck stream chat. Not the stream, but it's OBS. That's why it keeps confusing me. Titan Souls, right? I was looking forward to this, yeah. All of the very clever marketing Devolver Digital have been doing for this game is, because that is, they're of course the publisher, is it's just insane boss fights. I've seen little clips of like the boss with the hands, you know, it slams down and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
But what I didn't realise is that is all the game is. There are just boss fights. Now on paper, this can kind of sound like, oh, this is a dream come true. This is just, I guess, Souls-style boss battles over and over again. But there's one thing which really, well, there's a couple of things that annoy me, but there's one thing that annoys me the most, Mr. Kirill, about this. And that is, when you die, because you, like one hit and you die, off any ability, you just die, right? That's it, the end of you, you're gone, dead, kaput. The game fades out, and then fades back in, and you're at like a checkpoint in the area you're in, and you have to run back to that boss room to fight it again. Now, this can take anywhere between like maybe 10 seconds to like 20 seconds, depending on where the boss is. Now, this is fucking annoying because it's like a pointless barrier to get into the it's like pointless padding of the game. It's like, I've died. Oh, I've got to wait 20 seconds now. I mean, like, just to picture this for you guys, when you run into a boss room, the boss will kill you immediately because you don't know what it's going to do. It's like, oh god. Yeah. And then maybe it's got a different phase into something a bit different later on. It's just like, I don't get, like, that really annoyed me. I mean, I killed the I mean, if anyone's played it, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like a gelatinous blob boss, and when you hit it, it splits into two, and then you hit them, they split into two. So the more you hit the blobs, the more the room becomes filled with them, and you have to keep dodging them because you can roll and you can sprint. And by the way, you've only got one weapon as well, which is the arrow.
Yeah.
And the idea was you need to keep hitting the blob with the heart in, and when the heart's exposed, hit the heart, and you win the fight. Like, but I did that after, I think it took me about 10 minutes solid on that boss, which it's not a lot of time, you know, and it was only the first boss effectively. But most of that was taken up running back to the fight, not actually in the fight. It's annoying. I mean, I watched a bit of Northern Lions video on the game, and he showed some more advanced bosses, and one of them was it's got like a mouth and it's got teeth, and you have to knock the teeth out to kill the boss.
Yeah.
But it isn't just a case of firing the attack at the boss and it will just knock the teeth out. You have to specifically hit the teeth, like, to knock them out. But you can't do it with your arrow. You have to do it with the boss's ability. So that was kind of interesting because, like, you didn't have to actually attack. You just had to keep sort of coercing the boss into attacking itself, sort of thing. But again, if you get down to the last tooth and die, well, you've got to then come back and do that again. And I guess you could say, well, Sty, why are you moaning about that? Because that's what the game is about. You know, if you die on a boss, you've got to come back to it. But it just, like, I don't know. It's been some time since to say I was looking forward to this game is a bit much, but to say I was interested in it is more accurate, right? I was interested in this game, and when it actually came out and I got my hands on it, I was quite disappointed. I was like, this just seems a bit, like, not bland, but it's just got annoying things. I don't know.
Well, the thing for me is I played the demo of it, and there's the video of that on the channel, and I didn't realise at the time, if I'm completely honest, that was all there was to it. Because I thought it was like a little section with a few of the bosses, and that was like, this is what the bosses are going to be. This is the kind of thing to expect from the boss fights. I didn't actually realise that that's what the game was. That there was no other content. That it is just the boss fights, and that, like, that barrier of having to run back to the bosses, which I did plenty of times in that video, was like going to be so much of the actual game, because just running through nothing does not interesting gameplay make. That's not.
No, yeah.
And
what it should do is when you die, you should be able to just instantly go, like, die outside the boss room, run back in, die outside the boss room, run back. I'd have been okay then. I'd have been like, right, this is just a massive. It's just a game about flawless execution when you get down to it. You go in, you need to identify what the boss does, and then you need to flawlessly execute the plan to kill it. One foul move and you're dead. And it's like, well, okay, I know people will enjoy that. I do know people will enjoy that. I'm not one of those people now, because maybe in the past I would have been, but now I just see it as, like, pointless. I'm like, okay, well, I don't really care. You know, I kind of need to be like, if I was fulfilling some sort of adequate story or something, or something was going on, then maybe it would push me to do it. But when it's just like, here you are, you can roll, you can sprint, you've got an arrow, go and kill all these bosses. I mean, maybe there is a story to get down to it.
Yeah.
But, like, that's just...
I kind of feel like there needs to be, like, more. There needs to be kind of more, because, I mean, people, there's always going to be, like comparisons as well between Titan Souls and, like, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, whatever, because, well, the name and the obvious inspiration from particularly difficult boss fights. But I kind of feel like the biggest difference between the two is that actually you don't just die in Dark Souls. Or at least it's very irregular that you do. And if you do just die, it's not often due to an ability. Like, there are not many abilities in any of the series that, like, generally, it hits you and you just capitulate straight away.
There are some like that. There's like they're kind of like, to any experienced player of the Soul series, you can kind of tell they're going to happen. Like, generally would happen, like, let's say in the middle of a fight, a boss would, like, sort of cower down and start to glow, then explode maybe or something, and that would, like, instantly kill you. And the first time it happens, it's like, for fuck's sake, you know. But I get what you're saying. It's not this. You've got a chance to recover, haven't you? That's the thing. It's like you can you can fight the boss. He might hit you. It's like, shit, I'm about to die, but I can recover. Go back in. Titan Souls is just you're dead. And, you know, I guess this is part of a trend of, like, these sort of. I mean, it does feel like a polished game for what it is, Titan Souls. But this thing of taking like aspects of very popular games and turning them into their own game, completely centered around that, and giving you this like super focused experience on, hey, do you want really hard boss fights? Are you a fan of the Souls series? I mean, hell, the game's called Titan Souls for a reason. You know, check this out. To me, that's what I mean, maybe it's other people were saying it kind of looks like the older Zelda games, the way it looks and stuff. I've never played them, so I don't know. But I don't know. It kind of leads me to the next game, which I played as well. This was Axiom Verge. Now, this is a Metroid-style platformer. Now, I've never played the Metroid games. In fact, I've never played a Metroid game. I've played platformers, obviously, in the past, which seemed fairly similar to this. In fact, I played R-Type quite a lot when I was a kid on my Amiga. Now, I know that's not a platformer, but it's the same kind of thing. Do you want to go outside, McGee? Ladies and gentlemen, McGee's now going. Come on, McGee.
She's had enough of being a star on YouTube.
Goodbye,
she wants to go back to living a normal civilian life.
She's off. She's now been thrown out. She can go and do whatever the hell she likes. I'll probably hear her knocking on the door later. But yeah, so Axiom Verge, as I say, kind of like R-Type, or that's the only way I can really game I can compare it to. It's nothing like R-Type really, because people are going to be like, stop it, what are you talking about? But little ship on the screen firing bullets, your man jumps, he fires bullets, you know, same thing. The bosses, though, is kind of where the comparison is coming from. I remember stuff in R-Type where you'd fight the boss and the boss would change what it's doing as you're starting to kill it, you blow weapons off it and stuff like that. Axiom Verge, same type of thing. But I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or I just don't really want to keep replaying things over and over again. But the bosses in that game, of the couple I did, were bloody annoying. I mean, there was this one, it was this big worm, like a big maggot, and it had multiple weapons on it. Depending on what weapon you destroyed would depend on how the other weapons reacted, so they'd react different, which sounds really fancy on paper, and it was when I was playing through it, like maybe the first 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, and then it started to become really annoying because one foul move and I'd get hit with a laser and I'd fall into some acid and die, and that type of those type of like absolute gaming experience where it's like one mistake, you die, you must start again. The last couple of minutes have gone to waste, and then again and again and again and again. I don't think they appeal to me, and I know they're going to appeal to people watching HOTFIX, and I'd really like for you to put your case forward in the comments and explain why you enjoyed these games. But to me, it's almost like I like to play games for fun more now than like before. I was very competitive, like Kiri will tell you this, but I was like, I couldn't accept losing. Now I don't care, but I could not accept losing. I'd be like, I have to be the winner effectively. But now I'm sort of getting like, obviously I enjoy being decent at games, but I don't really care so much. And I don't know, you know, maybe it's just that it is something as simple as younger people are more inclined to these sort of absolute do or die games. I don't know, but maybe then again, it's a bit too general.
I think it kind of scratches a bit of a completionist itch as well, because it's like it's so tricky and it's so difficult, but at the same time, it's like once you've mastered it, you just do it, and then you've done it. It's like, yes, that's it.
Yeah,
gone, done. And especially in like Titan Souls, it seems like if you know what you're doing, you could kill the bosses like relatively quickly, especially compared to like the games that the name's taken from. Like I don't know how quickly you can kill most of the bosses in Bloodborne, because I've not had a chance to play through it myself yet. But by the look of it, it's not going to be a you walk in, hit it twice, and then leave kind of situation.
Well, you know, I'll give you an example of that. So, do you remember the Blood-Starved Beast when I streamed that? Now, this is a spoiler, guys.
Yes.
If you are playing Bloodborne, don't listen to this. I killed it the traditional way, right? Basically fighting it straight up. But it's called the Blood-Starved Beast for a reason, isn't it? Because it's starved of blood. Now, you can get these vials of blood which you can chuck all over the place, and it'll attract monsters to it. Well, what do you think that does to the blood-starved beast? Well, it attracts him, doesn't it? So you throw this thing down, he runs over to it, you run up behind him, heavy attack, heavy attack, heavy attack, and then he gets a bit angry, and you throw another one. You can literally kill him in about 30 seconds, whereas it took me like 8 minutes of constant battle with the guy to kill him. So there are stupid things like that, but again, that just comes from experience, or if people have watched videos on YouTube or whatever, which is not what you would do with those type of games. It's like you said, Kieran.
Yeah.
That rush of like adrenaline when it's like, yes, I've killed the boss. I mean, hell, if any of you guys watch me stream Bloodborne, whenever I kill a boss, it's such a it's such a relief, like. But
yeah,
it does allow for some error, as we said. Like, you can get beat around a bit and you can sort of come back, whereas Titan Souls, you just died. Axiom Verge wasn't as extreme as Titan Souls, but you still kind of just died. But but like, I mean, I enjoy playing Bloodborne, but I don't think I'll be playing Axiom Verge or Titan Souls again. And you could say maybe they are kind of the same experience, but you do have a lot of the, like, I like the whole like exploring the world kind of thing, and this is a new place I've never been before, and what's this mental thing that's going to happen, and things like that. Not just boss, dead, dead. You know, oh, I've done this. It's, you know, like if I was to stream Titan Souls, it would be what it's like streaming Bloodborne now, because everybody who wanted to play Bloodborne have most likely completed the game now, so they know how the bosses work. So you get an extreme case of backseat gaming, and I mean really extreme case. Like Titan Souls would be the same thing. It would be, oh my god, you don't know what you're doing. And like for me to stream that game would really annoy me, because I'd get really angry. I'm like, for fuck's sake, like there's nothing worse to me than somebody going, nah, I know how to do it, and you're an idiot. You know, that type of attitude. And it's like, oh god.
Yeah.
You know, but like, I don't know. Those games, I don't think they're games for me, Mr. Kirioff. But if they are games for you, ladies and gentlemen, please leave a comment below and explain why you love these insane games where you just die instantly and have to arbitrarily rerun the last 20 seconds to just die instantly again. Good God.
Also, if there's a story, please tell me. Because that's like...
It might be later on in the game, yeah, but...
yeah. I just don't know how much story you can get from...
But like, why are we fixating on the story, though? I mean, it's
that matters to me more now. That matters to me more now. When I'm playing a game through...
Axiom Verge has got a story, but it's absolutely shit, bloke. Like, it's just shit. It's just like, you don't care. You know what I mean? It's like... So, I don't know. Anyway, what else have you been playing, Mr. Kirioff?
Well, the only other thing that I played was...
yeah,
we had a bit of a blast on Star Trek Online, and I still maintain my thing of... the ground combat is janky and broken. Like, it's just crap. It looks bad.
Why is it in the game?
The whole thing of... I tell you what, the flanking mechanic in that ground combat is by far the worst thing I've seen in a game, because it wouldn't be that bad if you had to take a risk to do it. The fact that you can simply walk past the enemy and shoot them in the back and kill them, that's really bad. Like, that's terrible. On the other hand, whilst the ground combat's totally worthless and not worth playing, I really enjoy the space combat. Like, I could see myself sinking a lot of time into Star Trek Online just doing the PvE queues, because that's what I want out of a Star Trek game. Like, I want to be... Like, I'm a tactical... I pick tactical. So, I've got, like... I'm working my way up to essentially the Defiant. I want to be in the Defiant, flying around, shooting, like, Klingons and Romulans and Borg. That's what I want from a Star Trek game. I don't care about, like, the ground stuff, because... I think part of the biggest problem with that game is the fact that if you actually look at the TV shows, yes, they went down to the ground a lot.
Yeah.
But how many of the TV shows just featured all-out war on the ground? Like, really, how many episodes out of all the episodes that aired involved, like, 8 people from the ship beaming down and having a full-on phaser battle with an army of Klingons? It just didn't happen. And the reason it didn't happen is because it was unreasonable and stupid, and it didn't make any sense in the universe. So the only way they could, like, work it into this kind of episode structure is that somehow every time you have to go anywhere, you have to fight everybody, which just it doesn't feel Star Trek to begin with.
No.
And then, like, the introduction of it being like a really badly made element of the game, on top of the fact that it doesn't feel Star Trek to begin with, just means that you've got this really weird, like, broken, not quite there aspect just rammed into a game where you just look at it and go, why is that even a thing? Like, what? Whose idea was this? Why did you do it?
I asked in the stream chat when I was streaming it the other week, and I said, just like, because there were a lot of people there. I mean, we were the biggest STO stream, so we were getting a lot of people coming in, searching for that game on Twitch. And I said, look, honestly, do any of you guys like the ground combat? These are people with, like, max level characters and fucking crazy warbirds and scimitars and God knows what, like the most insane ships you can get, and they're like, no, it's terrible, we don't do it. And it's like, well, why the hell is it in the game? You know, it's really weird. But you know what, STO is a very good like game to bring up in this discussion between these ultra hard games and games which are just games for the sake of it. STO is just it's like, you don't really care. Like, you might be involved in a battle with the Borg, right? And it might be a level 50 sector defense mission. And when I'm like level 22, that means I'm going to die if the Borg shoot me. But I don't care. I'm like, well, I'll just go there. And it's like Borg cubes over it, all these mental players and their mad ships flying around. And I'm engaging and I'm fighting and I'm attacking. I know I'm not doing any damage, but I really don't care. It's just like, this is cool. Yeah. And it's just this thing of like, it is quite fun to do. And It is a shame that it does force you to do all the ground stuff at the start of the game, because that's when most people will be like, "Are you joking me?" Because like it's really rough, like it's really shit as well.
It's really not acceptable. It still feels like it did when we played it in beta. And how many years ago was that?
That's like
that was a long time ago.
I mean, it's an old game
there's
now.
Literally, there's no excuse for it to be that bad. There just isn't, and yet it is. But then again, it's like as soon as there's a way to avoid it, it's like it's a weird thing where normally I kind of feel like you shouldn't ever say, well, this part of the game's terrible, but the other part of the game is worth pushing through for, because I'm one of those people who, if your game doesn't impress me in the first half an hour, I don't play your game again. Like, I've got a very sort of, I don't know why, but that seems to be the length of time that I give a game. If it's like, after half an hour, I'm still sitting there going, what the fuck is going on? This is, what is this? Then it's dead. It's gone. I'm not going to play it. And yet, somehow, with Star Trek, I managed to kind of push past the ground combat bit. But I think it's only because I knew that the space combat was actually quite fun. I think that's the only reason I persevered. But once you actually do get it, it feels right. Like it feels like a Star Trek game, like a crazy, like all those once in a series battles that you got to see. And
all the sound effects and everything. If you're a fan of Star Trek, you will enjoy it. It's free to play as well. I mean, I've spent no money on the game, and I've had quite a bit of enjoyment out of it. And I guess you get to that point where it's like, You do see your ships, and it's like, I really would like to customize my ship, but you know. But anyway, Mr. Kirioff, let's get into HOTFIX, the meat and gravy veg. No. First thing we've got. The first thing we've got is not that. It's this, ladies and gentlemen. So, Mortal Kombat X came out, Mr. Kirioff. Now, I've not played this. We were supposed to be getting a copy.
I was actually quite looking forward to it, because I got Mortal Kombat 9 for the 360.
Yeah, with the crazy like arm break shit. Has that got that in as well?
Yeah. Like the X-ray stuff. I really enjoyed it. I mean, something that I don't know. I mean, people who don't play the games might not realise as well is that they have quite good campaigns, like quite good stories. Like the one on the last Mortal Kombat, I played all the way through, and it was a decent length, and it taught you like the different moves of different characters and stuff. And it was actually really interesting to play through. Yeah. So Mortal Kombat X, I was like, oh, this could be quite good. I'm a bit disappointed, frankly. Anyway. Especially with...
Well, you're disappointed with the news. The game might be okay, but we just don't know. But like I was going to say, the PR company, I think it's Warner Brothers, or whatever PR company they used that we were dealing with to get copies of this early, basically didn't want to give you copies of the game. Now, this is because, although we don't have the news article open for this, but it didn't work on PC, which is interesting. Also, they didn't want to give us console copies, which is weird. But this game has had like a bit of a bad history, to be honest. I mean, first of all, Goro, who is a staple character of the goddamn series. You know, I'm not even a fan of like beat 'em up games or anything like that, but I know who the fuck Goro is. You know, Goro is like
everyone knows who Goro is, don't they?
It would be like not having Sub-Zero in the game, but he was behind the paywall of pre-order. Like, if you pre-ordered the game, you got Goro. So, excuse me, that's the main character. That was terrible, and that's got everybody a bit like, what the fuck is going on? But now, we've got the news, Mr. Kirioff, that... so, I'm going to explain this really simply. To any people out there who don't know what the hell a fatality is in Mortal Kombat, everybody should know. Like I said, I'm not really a fan of these games, but I know what the fucking hell a fatality is. This is when you've killed somebody, you can then perform a fatality. So you've beat them, the health bar is 0, isn't it, Mr. Kirioff? And then you can perform a move which will murder them in a most horrific way. Generally something crazy, like pulling the spine out through the neck and something ridiculous, and then burning them and God knows what, right? But these are quite hard to do, you know, because you have to do a little quick combo, don't you? Before it comes up, finish him, and they're like that, and they're like, I don't even have to wait. Hang on a minute, this is totally worth it. Finish him. Like that, and then you just sort of do your thing to them. Anyway, Mr. Kirioff, it turns out that you can actually buy DLC called Easy Fatalities, which, well, Mr. Kirioff, it's $4.99, and it says finish him. Purchase a pack of Easy Fatalities, giving you access to fatalities with simplified inputs. Excuse me.
That's really quite bad. What's worse is that that's not unlimited. You buy that and you get 30. You can use it 30 times and then you've run out. Then you've got to buy another pack of Easy Fatalities. Now, first of all, Easy Fatalities if they're in the game at all, should not be DLC. That's pathetic. That's some of the most horrendous, cynical shit I've seen for DLC, like just ever in the history of anything. To actually make it so that once you purchase that, you can use it 30 times and then you have to buy more is even worse. I mean, I get that not everyone is going to know how to do this, right? The fatalities are not just like, oh, you press 2 buttons and you're done, unless you buy these packs.
Yeah.
They're complex, but the whole point of the fatality is that it's an over-the-top reward for a relatively complex move. So you learn it so that when you've won the fight, it's like, I have the skill to do this, therefore I get the reward. Not, I paid $5 for this, so now I can do it by pressing 2 buttons, but only 30 times, and I've got to give them another $5. Like, I get that you want to like have people who aren't great at the game being able to do fatalities and stuff. I kind of get that. And from what I've seen, it would appear that you can pick up like tokens in the game that allow you to do it now and again. It's not like a regular thing. But at the same time, I kind of don't like that because like I watched a video of all the fatalities. Someone made a video of like put all of them together. Jax, the guy with the big like metal robot
boxing
arms.
guy, ain't he, Jax?
He's got the massive robot arms, and he likes smoking cigars. Also, one of his biceps has got a American flag on it, which is quite funny. One of his fatalities is he grabs the other person's arms like that, like above, and then he shoves them into their rib cage via their arm, by their like shoulder sockets.
Yeah.
And then he rips their head off by grabbing their lower jaw and their upper jaw, and just peels it back. And then stubs out his cigar on their tongue, which is like sticking out of the bottom half of their head, and the top half is flopping backwards. Now, if you're gonna like allow people to do that, please let it be that they have to use some sort of skill to achieve it, because that's like that's something that it's something that it feels like they put a lot of work into. They've even said they have like
Yeah, I remember the video. They did a video where they showed them making all of the fatalities and stuff, and it was like, wow, this looks crazy good. Like,
it's like they're selling a really, I say a really big aspect of the game. It's a massive part of the game. Like Mortal Kombat is known for like over the top, like brutal fighting and fatalities.
Did you ever watch the Mortal Kombat film?
There was apparently there was two, right? I didn't know this until recently. There was two.
What?
The one that I saw is the second one. The first one was supposed to be quite good.
Yeah,
the second one that had that I watched, that I think everyone probably watched was totally terrible.
I'm sure. Oh, hang on. Yeah, no, there's 3 blokes. There's Mortal Kombat Annihilation, 3. And Mortal Kombat: The Journey Begins.
I'm pretty sure it was Mortal Kombat Annihilation that I watched. Is that
I don't know. I'm trying to search. I think it's Mortal Kombat, the first one I've watched. Yeah, because it's got a Highlander in it. Yeah, it's got the guy who plays Highlander in it.
Apparently that one's better. I've watched Annihilation, which is supposed to be terrible. Like absolutely.
I'm not even showing that on the stream, guys. It's just terrible. But yeah, this is just like this is DLC that has gone like I mean we spoke about this time and time again. But when DLC goes crazy, and this is just like. This is really bad because this is like you are selling like a major component of the game. You know what this is like? There was a game we played years ago and we took the piss out of it. It was a free-to-play shooter game. It was really bad, but it actually loaned you when you bought a weapon. You'd loan the weapon like for a few hours, and then it went back to the game, and then you had to. Do you remember that?
What was that?
Well, you remember the game though.
Blacklight.
No, it wasn't that. No, it wasn't that. Like...
Oh shit! No. Yeah, I know which one you mean. I can't remember what it's called.
It was abysmal though. But like that's like it's a wild example I've got there. But this is, I mean, to me, this is worse because this is obviously a mainstream game. It's AAA release. People know what Mortal Kombat is. You want to perform a fatality? Well, you can if you pay us money because you're an idiot and you can't work them out. I mean, or like you could buy a cheaper pack. What about 5 easy fatalities for 99 cents? It's just stupid. Like this is terrible. And in my eyes,
and it's a core. It's like. It's a core part of the game. That's one of the worst things about it. It's the fact that...
Well, just let's think of some examples. It would be like... Think of a game. Let's say Call of Duty. You need to buy your ammunition in your gun, as you can't use the gun. Let's say World of Warcraft. You need to buy health potions, else you cannot heal. Let's say... Star Trek Online, again, you need to buy antimatter for actual money to make the ship function. You know, let's say a Need for Speed game, which, to be fair, EA will probably do this. You have to pay for fuel, as you cannot drive the car. You know, which they kind of did do on mobile.
I'm genuinely waiting for that to happen.
I think they did it on mobile, actually. A lot of iPad games do that kind of thing. This is horrendous. This is enough to just say, do not buy this game. I mean, the only saving grace at the moment is, as it says down the bottom, it is not available on Steam yet. This is only on PSN and Xbox Live. But still, if they're doing it, it's fucking terrible. And I can't stand for this. I can't have it, Mr. Kira.
And I mean, I kind of, again, the thing is, it's like, you can get these tokens that allow you to do it in the game. Like, they've said that on the article, that there are these tokens that allow you to do that. In a way, I'm kind of okay with that, because you have to play the game. Like, you have to play the game to get the token to be able to do it.
And it shows you the fatality. Gives you a taste of it, I guess,
I doubt it's going to be a case of every time you win a fight, you get like 18 tokens or something. It's going to be something that drops now and again. It's like, you completed this section, have this token, so that next time, if you want to use like an easy fatality, then you can use it. I can make my peace with that. I think that's not too bad, because at least it's part of the game itself, and you have to play the game to be able to actually get them, to be able to do the easy fatality. But just saying you can do it 30 times for $5, but then you got to buy more, it's cheapening a core component of the game. It's cheapening like the signature of the game. It's frankly insulting towards people who want to buy DLC as well. If you pay money for that kind of service, it should be. I mean, if you're gonna cheapen it and sell out to the degree they have, why not just go that extra step and make it an unlimited thing for $5? Because they're already on their way. They're already not only cheapening it, but also intentionally trying to make it so that people become reliant on it. Because there are people who'll buy it, and they'll get so used to doing it, the prospect of actually learning the fatalities, especially since it's for like every single character is different, they're just going to be like, no. I mean, as well, the other thing that gets me about this, right, is I watched the Funhouse guys. They did their podcast that they put out yesterday. They were playing Mortal Kombat in the background. You can pause the game. Right? You've got them knocked out. They're standing there. They're doing their ooh thing. And it says, finish him. You can pause the game and look up the fatality. In the move list, you can see how to do it. So the game gives you the tools to learn how to do it anyway. But then it's like, yeah, but don't do that. Buy this. It's like the ultimate in like really shit low effort DLC.
Yeah.
Trying to rip people off by making limited use, cheapening a core component of the game.
This is ripping people off. This is what this, you know, like any DLC that just involves you putting your hand in your pocket to buy access to things which you should be learning. I mean, it would be, I guess, a better example would be is if you could just pay to go into Masters Division in StarCraft 2. Well, great. You know, you could pay to maintain your position. That's great, but you're going to get destroyed by people who actually know what they're doing because they've put the time and the effort in to learn. Or even hell, you know, drill down with StarCraft. It could be. You drill down with the example. It could be like you need to learn timings in StarCraft, build orders. But if you pay £5, you just get a button that you press and it executes the build order for you. That's kind of what this is like. This is not good. It's terrible.
I mean, there are going to be people who defend it by saying things like, "Oh, well, it's at the end of the game. You've already won the fight, etc., etc."
Yeah,
it's not really the point. But it's not the fact that, in a way, the actual content of this like DLC is not the problem in a way. It's more the intent that it's shown. It's more the way it's been implemented. It's the attitude that it shows by the mere fact that it exists, that is the way they are heading with it. It's like admittedly, you could just say admittedly you could say, well, it doesn't have any impact on the actual fighting itself. Well, in a way it doesn't, but at the same time they're already showing that they're willing to sell moves in a fighting game for money, because that's what it is. Like, it doesn't matter that it's after the fight's finished. It's still a move, and it's still being sold at limited use for $5. That's a slippery slope that you're starting on, and you really do not want to go down that slope because it'll just get worse.
Well, you don't want to. What you just again, it's vote with your wallets. Do not buy this. If when they look at the sales figures, they're like, oh yeah, we can do this. They'll just keep doing it, and that's bad. Well, Mortal Kombat. Let's go on to the next topic. Now, this is... it's from Paradox Interactive. Well, this is their forum. And this is City Skylines. Now, in their press release, they say that they've sold 1 million copies since March the 10th. Now, this is by far and away the most successful game Paradox have ever published, right? This is... like a lot of the stuff Paradox, like they publish with their grand strategy games, it's all niche stuff. They do well in their market. They do not do this well.
Yeah.
This is really, really well. I'm pretty sure that Magica was the only other game which performed really well for them, but it's been blown away by this. And like you have to look at why this is the case. I mean, like they say, widely hailed as the new benchmark in the genre, Cities Skylines has captured the gaming public's imagination with a staggering 33,000 mods have been created to date and made available via the Steam Workshop, with an average of 21,000 concurrent players continuously online since launch. Commenting on the continued success of the game, CEO of Paradox Interactive, Frederick Wester, and I always get this. I say Fred West. That is really wrong. Fred West is a fucking murderous bastard of the worst caliber. Google him if you want to know who he is. So it's not. It's Frederick Wester, which he did follow me on Twitter, but then he unfollowed me. I don't know why. We continue to be amazed at just how many players have embraced Cities Skylines. The game is still selling at a steady pace, which is remarkable for a game that has been on sale for well over a month. Once again, we want to thank everybody that has supported and continues to support the game, right? And the game's available for $29, with the deluxe edition available for $39.99. That includes some historical monuments and stuff. So, I mean, Cities Skylines, just look at what Paradox have done here with this, and Colossal Order, I think the developers are called. They know Cities Skylines. Let's go back to Facecam, actually. They know SimCity was... Everybody loved SimCity. They know when SimCity came out, it was a disaster because of what EA tried to do with it. And it was just horrendous. You know, it was small cities. I'm not going to go into it, but there's just a fucking raft of problems.
Bad.
We did a hotfix completely on it, I'm sure. It was terrible. Fast forward a couple of years, and Paradox have got to the point where they've used their development studio... Well, I don't think they're their development studio. It's just a development studio that works with Paradox as a publisher, Colossal Order, to instead of making Cities in Motion, which is a game they're famous for, which is a traffic management game, to make a city management game, okay? Now, this is one of the reasons why the traffic works fairly well in Cities Skylines, because they've clearly just ported everything they did from that other game into this. But... you know, you read things like they've got massive mod support, which the mods allow you to do pretty much anything in this game. You can build the biggest goddamn city you want, and that's all people want. You know, when you say to people, do you want a city building game? Yes, I do, and I want to build a massive city. That's all people, that universally is what people say. And for something for like, you know, EA and that lot to be out of touch to that degree with not understanding what people actually wanted in a city building game is pretty bad. Because everybody, literally anybody on the street you would have asked would have told you what they wanted, even if they didn't know that they wanted a city building game. Would be, I want to build a massive city. You know, that's all they want, and that's what Paradox have given people here. The performance is pretty good of the game. It doesn't really slow down or stutter. I know it's got some issues, but it can't be perfect. But you can build a massive city. I've got mods installed that let me build all over the map I'm on, so it can be fucking massive. I'm not joking, massive. There's loads of Steam Workshop stuff. It's dead easy to install mods. You literally click a button because Steam Workshop support is great for that. Honestly,
and on
this
top
is like,
of that,
go on.
On top of all of that, it's not just like how big the map is or the mods that you can put on. It's $29.
Yeah,
it's $29.99.
Yeah,
it's not priced at AAA. SimCity was priced at AAA, and it delivered a game that was like, I don't even. B-. I don't know what you'd even describe it as.
I wouldn't even give it that. No, you couldn't. I don't think you could give it that, you know, because what they it's just terrible bloke. Fucking F.
Yeah,
F
true.
For fuck you.
And whereas Cities Skylines, like basically everything that people wanted from SimCity, and implemented it in a game that works, that had full mod support, that didn't like force you to do stuff you didn't want to do, that had a better system for like not pedestrian, but like citizens and that kind of thing. Like I tried this myself, where I followed a guy for like, I put the cycle up to full. This guy, not once did he change jobs by going to someone else's apartment overnight. He just actually went to the right place, which is like already a massive improvement. And they gave it to people for a price that, frankly, they could have got away with charging more. The amount of features it's got, for how well it runs, for how good it looks, they could have charged more, but they didn't. They charged $29.99. And people are used to paying like 45 quid for games now. That's just how it works. If it's a AAA game, they're used to paying 45 quid. So to get like all the stuff that City Skylines has got, all the mod support, the fact that it runs well, the fact that it works, frankly.
I know, but just because people are used to paying that doesn't mean that's what people should be paying. Like that, the pricing system is fucking horrendous of AAA games.
It's bad.
Like,
it's really bad.
I mean, the thing that annoys me the most is the name of this game, because you inevitably get it mixed up with Cities XL, which is just terrible. Like that is I can't remember who makes that, but there's been tons of those games, and they are all unoptimized bags of cabbage. They are really bad. Like they don't even use like quad core CPU support. They've got none of that. You know, it's just fucking horrendous. It's terrible. You know, yet Colossal Order have managed to produce a game which runs well, which effectively does work, and you could build a city and be happy with it and have, you know, I must have had 60, 70 hours of gameplay out of this. That is insane. That is absolutely insane for a game of that price in today's market, which I guess is what you were getting at, Kieran. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, there are problems. Let's talk about some of the problems. So it is quite difficult to get past 50,000 population-wise in a city, even if you immaculately plan the city out and think you've immaculately planned it out. From experiments I've done, now bear in mind, I'm not the most fucking super pro gamer of City Skylines. If you build a city in a very unnatural kind of way, like so you've got a housing district, across the motorway, the business district, across this motorway, the shopping district, and then, you know, so it's all disconnected, and each area's got all its own, like, amenities and stuff, that you can really grow really quick. And that's like that's not how a city should be built. Like a city is like everything together, ain't it? You know what I mean? It's like you've got to work out the traffic flow and stuff like that, but it can be fairly difficult to grow past the 50,000 mark I've found. And also the road system is a bit shit because it installs traffic lights everywhere where there would not naturally be traffic lights. So, you know, I get in most of the examples, there would be, but sometimes it's like, it's annoying. And there is a mod you can get which turns off traffic lights at intersections. Now, this breaks the game because I've played for a few hours with this on, and then I decided not to use it again. But the cars do not stop at intersections, they carry on. Like there's no traffic effect, like there's no build-up of traffic because everyone just keeps moving. Because they're so amazed that the drivers are awesome, they never crash, they just always, you know, go out, they dodge each other, and it's, you know, so I don't know. Coming from a dev studio which sort of based their past success on traffic management, you would have thought that wouldn't have been a problem. But to me, it really pissed me off, that did. But, you know, these are only little things. And as I say, you can fix them with mods if you want. You can remove the traffic lights if you really wanted to. And, I mean, there's a ton of things you can do with the mods. I mean, there's crazy mods. There's mods where you can fly around in a helicopter. I mean, what? Okay, first-person helicopter, let's do it, you know. Mental stuff like that. And that's good, you know. That's good that they've got mod support. Everyone likes mod support.
It kind of shows what you can actually achieve. You let the studio do what they want to do with the game as well. Like, the studio, Colossal Order have been kind of open as to the approach that they've had with the game, the approach that Paradox has had. And the difference between what Colossal Order say, like, to what the devs for SimCity said.
Oh, God, yeah. Maxis, they went under, actually, didn't they? Did they go under?
Yeah. Maxis have been, they've had their main office closed. So, you know, the people who've been there for God knows how long are gone because of, essentially, because of the disaster of SimCity. But the disaster of SimCity was down to the way EA approached it. Because EA wants, like, they want target, they want figures, and that's all they're interested in. Whereas, if you just let the studio make the game that they want to make, don't try and force them to put stuff in that they know won't work, and let them put in mod support. Let them do that, because that's what gives a game longevity. That's what gives it life, especially a game like, you know, SimCity or Cities Skylines. Modding is what is going to keep the game relevant for years as opposed to months.
It's been proven time and time again that if you do have mod support, games, I mean, Armour is a really good example of this. Look at Armour 2, right? So it's had mod support for ages. A guy, Dean Hall, comes along and he's like, you know what, it'd be pretty interesting if we just had like a zombie survival thing on this island, makes a mod. Armour then sells copious amounts of copies of the game that they were previously owned. Like, I mean, Arma is a very niche military shooter. You need to be into like
military,
really like, you know, actual realism and stuff like that of combat, which not a lot of people are into. But there was enough to sustain that. I forget what they call Bohemia Interactive to sustain them. But when DayZ came out, fucking hell, that game, everybody bought that. You've got a copy of it. I've got a copy of it. We're people that would never have bought Arma anyway. You know, then look forward. Arma 3 now came out, and they did well with that. But they now have a standalone DayZ version, which is based on that engine, I think, which Bohemia Interactive are basically making themselves now. None of this would have been a case if there was no mod support. So mod support really does bring games back from the dead, and it really works well with games to enhance the experience. It's like in cities, as I said, I had multiple mods installed. There's one thing in the game where buildings become abandoned, okay, and this can happen like for a number of reasons. But if you've got a fairly big city and a lot of buildings are becoming abandoned, it is a real ball ache to go around with a little dozer and click on all these buildings, get rid of them. It's almost like playing Goddess. It's absolutely shit. You don't want to do it. So you're like, no. But there is a mod that will just automatically demolish this stuff. That's great, because that's what would happen in the city. The mayor would not be going around clicking on shit and blowing it up. It'd just be like some department would take care of it. So it's good. And hats off to them. What they've done is a typical Paradox, where they've gave people what they wanted. And it's not super AAA, but they've gave people what you wanted, and it's a good enough experience where I would always recommend this game to people. I mean, hell, we've made tons of videos on this on the channel. It's a really good game. I'd recommend it to anybody who's a fan of city builders, and in fact to people who are not even fans of city builders. You will be like, you know, I showed this to one of my chums, and he couldn't believe this. He's like, so you're playing a game where you just build a city? I'm like, yeah. And within about 10 minutes, he was like, you know what, this is not bad. You know, this is a person that would only really play FIFA or Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Doesn't even have a PC, but was like pretty interesting. So I recommend it to everyone. It's pretty good. And you know what? You know, I'm scared. You know what annoys me about it as well? Where are the disasters? I mean, there's probably mods that'll do this. Yeah. But there should be like,
that was something that I thought was
alien
missing.
Abductions and meteorite strikes and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know you can flood your city with like shit, but that's not really the same as like a volcano going off or something.
No.
But I mean, despite that's, I think definitely one of the biggest things for cities was that it just provided what SimCity should have been to begin with.
Yeah.
I know it was missing a few features in comparison, like disasters and stuff, but on the other hand, everything else that it did infinitely better. And I quite like the fact that Paradox are kind of, I guess, with this, maybe they're breaking out a little bit. Maybe they might be becoming a bit more, not bigger, but starting to produce more games that aren't quite in that niche, like that niche market. Because the way they approach games and the way they've done things and the way they do things now, we could do with more of that. It's just like, you want to make this game? Okay, make the game. And letting people actually make the game they want to make. Because people buy it and they play it. And I know when like Magica came out, for instance, that was a terrible launch. The game was buggy and knackered. But if you compare back then to the launch of City Skylines, I don't remember having any issues with City Skylines when it launched.
No, the thing is, it just shows how disconnected these large companies are. I mean, if for EA to not understand that that's what people wanted, and let's face it, the budget for SimCity would have been fucking massive compared to Skylines. Yeah, you know, it would have just been some joker amount, which if you were to give to the Skylines devs, they'd be like, "What the hell is this?" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just, it beggars belief, really, that like something like that could even happen. But it just shows you that if you don't do it right, you will get taken out. And now City Skylines rightly is the benchmark for city building games. This is like, forget SimCity now. You know, I mean, I do believe that if SimCity did come back and it was like on par with Skylines, maybe it could recover. But it's going to be difficult to do that because we know what Paradox are like. We know that they're very open. We know that they're based in PC gaming. That is what they do. They do have some console releases, I think. But generally, they are PC gaming. You know, they make very niche titles. They make grand strategy games. They understand that community, and you can really tell that in the games that they produce. The only one thing that pisses me off with Paradox a bit is all the DLC they do. It's not obviously Mortal Kombat levels of DLC, but it's like, you know, like loads of DLC. Like there's literally like nickel and dime DLC policy, and I don't know whether I'm a fan of that, because a lot of that stuff could be provided with mods, I guess. Although they do really good expansions to the games, Again, I say really good without playing them, but people I've spoke to have said they've been really good. Like the Europa Universalis 4 expansions apparently have been really good for people that are interested in the game and stuff. So yeah, but I think we move on, Mr. Kirioff, to the next topic, which is Grand Theft Auto, and I think we've got a lot to say about this, but I'm just going to show you Twitter for a second. Now, this is from Steam Spy. Now, Steam Spy are it's basically a website which shows you like sales on Steam. It's not 100% accurate, but it's very accurate. It's almost like Steam charts as well. That website does the same thing if you're ever interested in how many people are playing games on Steam and stuff like that. They say the actual numbers might change after more data mining, but it's safe to say that GTA 5 crossed 1 million copies on Steam in its first day. Now, obviously, compare that to City Skylines, which took a month to achieve that. In one day, they did that. Now, it's GTA 5. Of course, they're going to sell a copious amount of games. You know what I'm saying? It's like, good God. So, Mr. Kirioff, I know you've been dying to go and talk about this to your heart's content. GTA 5, what happened, Mr. Kirioff? What happened?
Well, first point of amazement was the fact that the launch was relatively smooth, apart from unpacking the game on Steam, which turned out to be, like, painful, because it took a long time. But once it was up and running, I don't recall us really having any issues launch night. I know that some people had, like, crashes, and there's a really weird bug where if you've got what is it? If you name your computer something when you set it up and try to play GTA 5, you couldn't, because it tried to use your name, the name that you like attributed to your PC when you first boot the game up, to give your your character name or something.
Yeah.
And if there were characters in there that GTA didn't recognise, you couldn't play the game. So you had to make a new administrator account. So that was it. It was the administrator account. Sorry, you had to make a new one to be able to play the game, and you had to use just standard letters and numbers, which is really weird. And apparently, quite a few people had that problem. For us, though, I mean, we loaded it up, we started playing on launch night, and it was pretty much flawless all the way through. We started at, like, the game finished loading at about 12:30, and we played until like 3:30 in the morning, and there were no issues. There was very little in the way of lag, in terms of like server lag or anything. It's the odd moment, but it was the odd moment for me. The game runs really smooth, like really smooth all the time. I didn't see any FPS drops at all.
I'm pretty sure it's locked at 60 FPS, but like obviously I was streaming the game as well, and I was just getting 60 FPS constantly, which I'll accept. You know, it does feel buttery smooth. The performance did feel good. The lag, there was lag. At times it was a bit annoying to me, the lag was, because you could be I was chasing the guy because we were just playing in free mode, wasn't really that night, and I'm shooting after him and he just disappears. I'm like, where's he gone? And I could see on the minimap it sort of appeared around the corner a bit, and it's like, that's a little bit annoying. But given the context of GTA, I could kind of let that slip because I didn't really care, Mr. Kirioff, as well.
Yeah,
stupid.
I will say that the one thing that I think we've discovered that's a downside to GTA is the multiplayer system is not
Jesus
good.
Christ. Well, explain what we did the first day, right? Explain how after that first stream we were buzzing. We were like, this is like, I don't believe this. I can't believe this has worked as good as it did.
Like, this fucking worked, mate.
Yeah, explain what we did, like how we played it, in how we moved from free play to...
For the stream, we just went free play. We just messed around, shot people, drove around, bought cars, droid said cars. And the next day, we tried out a few of the jobs and the missions and stuff. And during the day, it was actually okay. It seemed to go pretty well. I would start a job. I'd then invite you. You would come into the job, and other people would join, and we'd be away. We'd have a race or a versus or something.
8v8 collect the.
Yeah, we had the mental collect the evidence game. That was that was really good. I really enjoyed that. Then when we came to stream it in the evening, I can only assume because of the increased population, like more people were playing. Trying to get into a game together was just hell. It was absolutely ridiculous, and it didn't matter what route we took, like whether who like picked the mission, or whether we went quick job or used play job and then selected a specific mission. We could not get in a game together because we'd always get put in a full lobby instantly every time, like without exception. So then we tried, like, you exited the game and started an invite only server, like an invite only session.
It's so convoluted. It's just terrible.
Which involves going out of GTA Online into single player and then starting GTA Online again, which is just... I'm sorry, but that's such a shit system. It should not be that complicated. I joined that session, but then we found that if we started games from that session, we were not being put in games with the public. Like, the games were remaining completely empty.
Yeah.
And people couldn't join us without being invited because, funnily enough, it was invite only. But then that's just one of two things. Either it's a pain to play with someone because you can't get on the same job as them, because it just throws you into a full job, or if you go invite only, we get put by ourselves and no one can join us because they can't see the job.
But I remember the way
the
job.
To do?
Well, when we were in the job thing like that, you could send invites out to people who were appropriate level or people you played with before. But what that does is when they're playing the game, whatever they're doing, it pops up on the side of the screen and it's like, do you want to join this job?
Yeah, it's just a pop-up on the left.
Nobody's going to join that. You just need the auto matchmaking thing to put people into the thing.
I've never clicked it.
Was really
I've
bad.
never once.
No, I've never
that's come
clicked
up.
it. No,
just clicked it. Now, looking at it afterwards, like after the stream, it turns out that actually, given the number of crew members we've got, we could probably get away with starting a crew-only session and inviting the crew to join the session. Now, this does depend on all of the crew wanting to be in the same game as us, which they probably would be, but that would still, I think, cause the same kind of lockout issue that it might end up being invite-only.
Yeah.
But then again, I have to admit, even having read up on this, I'm not entirely sure, because it's not made clear. It's like there's no... From what I can see, there's no just handbook of how to play GTA 5 online with your mate. Like, there seems to be no like distinct thing, like a course of action that will lead you to every time if two people want to play together, they can just get in the job. And people were, we were told things like, oh, well, if you host the job, there's no option for that. Like, there is no option in any of the menus that I've seen to actually just host a job yourself.
It's a case of, at least in my eyes, this is a case of where PC gaming and PC gamers meet console gaming, and they really have problems because the way the menus work and the way a lot of the invitation stuff works on GTA 5 on the PC is, as far as I've been led to believe, exactly the same as the console, which may make sense in the console world, but to me, like, I've got this whole idea of I want to be in a group with my friend and I want to be going around doing the same job with my friend, and I want to have my own kind of server. Can I, like, what server did we join? And it's all very like it all seemed very weird to me. It almost makes me feel old. I'm like, I don't get why this is like this. What, for the example you gave, where it was like I had to go into single player, I had to come out of the online mode into single player to start a private online mode and then invite Kiri into it, but then I couldn't invite other people into it because it was private online. It's just like, what the hell? I mean, I've just loaded up a thing here from Rock Paper Shotgun because I remembered this kind of made me laugh. So this is their ongoing review of GTA 5, and the first paragraph is what gets me. He says, I've played almost 4 hours of GTA Online, and I haven't had any fun yet. I've been trying to find a last team standing match in which my foes aren't overpowered or barely visible, a race where my opponents don't teleport due to lag, or to participate in a heist preparation in which the other players communicate or at least stick together, or to make my own fun in Los Santos, open world vehicles, guns and players, by any moment of levity, blah, 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 blah. Basically, this is... If me and you had not had the experience we had when the game launched, and then the experience we had the day after... Where it... when the game launched, me and you picked the game up. What am I talking about? We installed the game, went into the game. Because we were friends through the fucking Rockstar Social Club, we were in the same free roam map immediately, wasn't we? Remember? We were just in the same, and I was like, wow, this is great. It's put friends together. So we just went around killing each other for hours, and it's stupid. We're being idiots about it, blah, blah, blah. The next day, we're like, let's do... Kiri's like, I've been playing it a bit more, and I know how to do these heists, and I know how to do these specific missions. Let's try it. And it was a goddamn nightmare. It was no, it worked. Sorry, what am I talking about? It worked that day, and then we streamed it. Yeah, and then we were like, later on in the day, we'll stream it.
The thing is, the stream was later on the same day. That's the thing that got me. Yeah, and it just went to shit.
Well, I mean, we spent nearly 80 minutes just trying to get together. Now, if that was our first experience of the game and not those 2 play sessions before, we would have fucking been slamming the shit out of it. It would have been like, this is abysmal. All we want to do is play with our friends. Now we kind of know how to do it, but it's such a convoluted way of doing it, and the fact it was just so...
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing of, like, people... again, going back to the stream, people in the stream were like... They'd obviously played the console version. They're like, Sty, just start a game, just go to job, make it like an open job, and then when it comes up with the list, just click invite friends, and it's fine. Every time I did this, I sometimes I may have been the host or whatever of the room, but it was full, instantly full. And it's like I had no way of inviting my friend. There was no system where me and Kiri could be in a party prior to this and queue together. That's what was getting me. It's like, why can't we queue together? It just fucked me over. And
like, why was there just not an option to say we want to queue as 2 people? Like, that's all we want. That is literally all we want.
That was it. Yeah.
And it's not. It can't be that difficult to implement. And then, of course, last night we played a bit more and we did the Fleecer job, one of the Rockstar heists.
Yeah.
Now the job itself was quite fun. I enjoyed the job itself.
Yeah.
But holy shit, was
buggy.
that buggy.
Oh yeah, it was buggy as hell.
That was buggy as hell. First time the first time we tried it, you shot a copper, so we had to reset. We had to reset because we failed the mission.
Well, I was just testing it.
And he was like, "Don't alert the cops, so it will stop." So the first thing he does is point his gun out of the window and shoot one. It's like, "Yep, that works."
But you know what? Actually, hang on. That's funny for me and you. But like going back to what the guy said on Rock Paper Shotgun, that would be really annoying if you were trying to do it on your own and like you join in and some guy's just spraying and being a dick, messing it up for you. It's like, oh my god. Again, it goes back to like the lack of communication thing and all that stuff. But yeah, like as friends, like I think this game is like for playing with your friends, it's just crazy fun. It's like stupid. Like
it really is.
It's just so stupid.
I have to admit, I'm a little bit worried by the fact that the heist we did yesterday was so buggy, because when we completed the first stage of the setup, you have to go back to your apartment and go back to your garage. Now, we've both got the same apartment, the same garage, and the car, it's like a big truck thing. And we pulled up outside the garage, the door opened. On my screen, the car flickered, like it disappeared, then it appeared again. Then it disappeared, and all 4 of the characters, like us and Lester and whatever that woman's called, Paige, the 2 NPCs, were all just standing there outside the garage whilst the cameras slowly followed nothing going through the door. Then I fell through the floor, landed on the floor again, fell through the floor, got a white screen, and that's all we had.
And while that was going on to you, the car, to me, the truck, was just going like this, bouncing at the entrance to the garage, and I'm like, what's going on here? It just kept doing that.
But then we had to quit the game and go back into it. Then we got bad sport penalties for leaving a job, which was hardly our fault because it bugged out. That irritates me when it's like, oh, you left a job uncompleted. Well, no shit, I couldn't do anything. It's like, what? So then we went on to the next stage where you have to steal the armored car, which, as we'll get onto in a second, is OP as fuck.
Oh yeah, oh god.
We had to steal the armoured car. Now, this would have been fine, but it was on hard, and at the start, I think, did you get headshot or something? I think it was just like one guy.
One guy just headshot me straight away, yeah. I was like, what?
And so the mission failed, but I was like, it doesn't matter. It's not very far away. It's like 2 seconds drive. It's just, see that parking lot over there, go there, and that was all it was. However, when we respawned, I was stuck on the screen showing his character. So, like, it was like a portrait of his character with the parking garage behind it, with the mini map overlaid on the left, and the stuff that you see on the map on the right as well. And he could move and run and shoot, but he couldn't see.
I had all the sound effects. Yeah, I just couldn't see.
So then I had to kill him by running him over repeatedly because you can't shoot your teammates.
You enjoyed it, didn't you, bloke? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you had the same issue again, and it was like, well, that's totally shit. So we came up with a compromise. He got in the car by me driving up to him and saying, "Get in the car."
Oh, I'm blind. I'm like, whoa.
yeah. You just can't see anything. So I drove to the garage. I started shooting away. I was just going to complete the mission myself whilst he waited in the car, but unfortunately, I died because I ran out like an idiot. And then it fixed your screen, didn't it? Yours worked.
Yeah, mine.
Unfortunately,
worked.
I then had the same problem that you had. So once again, we had to fucking quit the job and leave the game and restart it, for which we got a penalty of bad sport for leaving the fucking job. So this is 2 setup missions out of 2 setup missions had broken. So we're 2 for 2 now in the first heist we've ever done. So we started it again. Now, in fairness, the last part did work. I don't recall it actually bugging out on that last bit where you actually rob the bank.
Yeah.
But there's 3 stages to it, and the first 2 stages broke. I mean, if the first 2 stages out of the 3 stages break, that's not a good start. Like, if that was one of the first things you did, or if that was somehow one of the first things you're involved in, you'd be like, this game's shit. Like, what the hell is this? And it wouldn't be that bad, but it's been out on console for quite some time, so...
Well, like 540 odd days time, or maybe even more than that now.
I know the heists haven't been out for that long, but I kind of expected it to not be quite that much of a buggy experience, frankly. You get, like, but it was.
you get people like I seen on some of the comments on the videos that we put out on the channel, which were cut down versions of stream VODs and stuff. You can see how much fun we're having in the game, so it's pointless for me to just, like, you know, explain that to you. It is stupid fun, but
it is.
There were
it's
people
really
saying, yeah, it really is. I mean, you guys should watch the little highlight clip where I made up of the launch night stream, and there's also the entire VOD of the launch night stream there anyway. But there were people saying, I don't get this game. It's like, I don't know why I would play this. And I've got to be honest, I don't think I'd play it on my own. This is one of those games where it is really fucking stupid to play with your friends. Like, it is just... I mean...
Yeah.
Last night, I was walking around, and I shit you not, this is my guy. He's got a purple top hat on, right? You see, Kiri's laughing, and this is like what makes the game worth it all day of the week. I've got a purple top hat on. I've got a leather print jacket, right? I've got zebra print, like, skin tight jeans on. I've got white and black, like, clown shoes on, and white surgical gloves. And a lime green scarf. I mean, and what am I doing? I'm walking around the streets with a claw hammer, just fucking hammering people. That's all. It's just stupid. I'm shouting at them, going, look at this, and I'm just in the middle of the street hammering some guy with a hammer. It's just fucking ridiculous. But, like, I mean, and again, here's another example of stupidity. After we finished the heist, right, I did not know that the money remained on your character and you had to, like, take it back to your house. So, but this was also another bug bit as well. Kiri's like, oh, look at this, we're in a bar having a drink. I'm like, what? I'm at a fucking... I just can see a loading screen. What's going on? It's like, oh, yeah, we're having a drink. When that loads into me, it's my guy walking out of the bar. So I didn't see any of this in the bar having a drink nonsense, right? So I'm thinking, right, the heist's done. You know, we've made like 180 grand or something stupid. So I turn around and get out my machine gun. And I just start shooting Kiri in the back. And obviously he takes offense to this. He turns around, shoots me, and we kill each other at the same time. Right? And I'm pissing myself laughing. It's like, oh, what the hell? And then he's like, oh no, the money's just come out of us. So I'm like, well, I'm still laughing. I'm just like, and he's like, no, all the money for the heist. So I killed him. Well, he retaliated and we killed each other. But obviously I shot him in the back and everything. He was just walking away. Some guy in the free play mode, because that's what we were in after doing the heist, turns up and nicks the money and runs off. And it's like, Jesus Christ. That was like really funny. It was like,
It was.
I was wetting myself up. It's stupid. It's just stupid.
I was kind of midway between finding it hilarious and just thinking, fuck's sake, I just...
because you spent all your money, because you spent all your money on cars and shit.
Yeah, I spent all my money on cars.
But I've still got like 600 grand. Yeah, so I'm like...
And like when we got up to that 5-star wanted level, bought the armoured car. That's the armoured car. That cost all of my money. I now have no money. I think I've got 10 grand and that's it. So I'm poor as hell, but I have got a bright pink armoured car. So we were driving around in that, and we got a 5-star wanted level. That thing is OP as fuck. It really is. It's just, it can take punishment for days. We could just do whatever we liked. I was ramming SWAT vans, you know, police cars out of the way. It was getting shot to shit. It didn't care. It just kept going. But then after that, we were... once we'd got to the airport in the armoured car, got into a helicopter, which I've got footage of, and I'm really hoping it came through okay, because that was really fun.
Yeah.
We didn't make it. I'm just gonna spoil that now. We did not make it in the helicopter. But after that, we were going around, and I was knocking policemen, like knocking coppers down as they got out of their cars, because I had like a 4-star wanted level, because I got my car back, and I was like invincible in it, knocking coppers down, so Sty could run up and hammer them in the back of their head, and they tried to stand up again. And it's like, it's really, really fun. It's just chaos, but it's like you can do whatever you like, whatever you want, you can do, but whenever you want to do something structured is where it falls down, and that's the problem I've got with it. It's like, through free roam, through free play, we can do whatever the hell we like, and it's brilliant. But if we sit there and like, let's do some missions, let's earn some cash, the setup for it, like, it doesn't kill the game for me, but it kind of draws the energy down.
Yeah, if that's all it offered, if that's all free play, you would just be because really the free play, there's no point to the free play. Like, you're not going to make any money in it. But, like, I mean, what about that guy where you were like, shit, some guy's robbing a shop, and we pulled up, and I've got the hammer, and you've got a knife, and we go in there to kill him, and he just turns around and shoots us with a fucking, some sort of machine gun. It's like, what the fuck? You know, that's just crazy shit. It's like, it's all very, like, spontaneous, like, mental shit. You don't know what's going to happen. You get in your car, you're driving around the city, what's going on? We don't know. Like, there's just 30 other people.
You know what, that reminds me. Just after you logged off last night, I went to go and see if I could get some more clothes for my lass because I wanted to class her up a bit. At the moment, she's covered in tattoos. She's got bright pink hair and she's got a T-shirt that says "Prison Bitch" on the front of it. And I went to go and get some clothes from that Ponsonby's place that you get all the suits from. And I pulled up outside in my car, and I was like looking at this stuff, and I was like, "Oh, this is all right." I heard a massive explosion go off. I was like, "What the fuck was that?" Looked outside, my armoured car, it was gone, bloke. Some guy had laid it in sticky bombs, blew it up, drove off, and then when he was like a couple of blocks away, he said in the chat, "Whoops, I think I damaged your vehicle." So I go outside and my car's just like a burnt wreck, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I only went to get some clothes and someone wrecked my vehicle. Like, that was funny to me. That was dead funny because I just heard this explosion. I was like, "Oh, someone's getting wrecked. That's going to be funny." But it was me. Like, my thing was broken. In fairness, though, something I did like about that, I was like, well, that car's 450 grand to buy. The insurance for that, I have not got enough money. Like, I literally don't have enough cash. That's going to be quite bad. I don't know what happens now. Because he blew it up, he paid for it.
Yeah.
So if you blow up someone else's car, you have to pay for their car. I was just like, shit.
I mean, to be fair, I was like, I had visions of being able to do mental shit like in free roam, but it is a little bit limited. Like, you can actually turn on passive mode, so you can't actually be attacked or anything. But there is also, like Kiri said with the insurance, if somebody's got a really expensive car, again, I think I did this on the launch stream, but some guy pulls up in a Veyron, and that it's like $1 million.
That's like $1 million.
It's
that's
£1 million.
Car.
Yeah, it's like fucking the most expensive car or whatever. He pulls up in it, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. He goes into the Los Santos customs place, and I'm like waiting for him outside with a shotgun, and I'm like, I'm gonna have this bitch. He comes out, and I'm pumping full of fucking shotgun shells, kill him, get in his car, and I'm like laughing to myself. Like, to me, that would be crazy as shit. Like, that's my car now. I'm gonna take it away.
Yeah.
And I'm driving off in it, and then I get out the car. That's because he's changed the permissions to say you're not allowed to drive my car. And it's like, I get why they've done it, because it's $1 million, and that would be a shitload of money to earn in the game. And if somebody just nicked it off you, but then again, you know, you're risking it driving around in your car. So to me, it should be like, well, you should be able to nick it.
Also, you get it back anyway. That's the thing for me. I think if it's been driven off by someone, once it gets a certain distance away, you can call your mechanic and he'll just bring it to you anyway. So
yeah, but
if
like,
it's destroyed,
things like that,
then you get it back.
Also, like, I'd want to kidnap people and like hold them hostage and shit. You know, like other players get them and like tie them up. Like, I could come out with a hammer, could I just hammer them? Like,
as well, the other thing that happened last night that really got my nerves, after my car was destroyed, I got the mechanic to bring my sports car instead, so I could drive back to the apartment. I don't know why I did it, because I could have just logged off and I'd spawn there anyway, but I was just in that thing of, yeah, I want to drive again. I got mugged, bloke. I got mugged and my car got stolen. I didn't know this. If you're level 50 and you call that Lamar guy, the one who's got the dog in the single player, you can call muggers to attack people. So I was like just in the car, minding my own business, and a guy ran up to me, pulled me out of the car, stabbed me on the floor, got in the car and drove off. And I was just like, what? What the fuck is going on? I love that that's a thing. Apparently you can call mercenaries on people as well. Like, call Merryweather to come in and like gun people down. That sounds awesome and crazy. The limits of like not being able to just nick someone's car if they don't want it nicked, or not being able to take them. Yeah, but then again, I guess it's like, it's already a crazy playground even without being able to do that stuff. And it kind of depends on the person as well. Like, I've unlocked my car now. I've unlocked the permissions on it. Because, to be honest, if someone steals my car, it's going to be pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, if they stole it off you, they've had to, like, incapacitate you in some way to take the vehicle.
Yeah, and if they wreck it, they pay for it anyway. So it's like, it's not a big deal like, to me. It'd just be quite funny. Like, I think it depends on the player. Like, say, for instance, if we started, like, a crew-only session, like, you could easily just say, everyone just unlock your cars. Or just set it to crew, like, crew can steal it. And like with a winning community, you can do all that stuff. Like, you'd be able to do the crazy kidnapping, the stealing of people's cars and hiding them away and stuff. And I'm kind of looking forward to trying to get the crew that we've got, which we'll put a link in the description so you can join it. It's like 70+ members now, I think. I really want to get it to the point where we can start a crew-only session and just have free play chaos, like whenever you join, there's just gonna be something mad happening, because it's just perfect for that, and it's what makes the game worth getting. That's the reason to play the game.
I mean, that's the thing I wanted to come down to. Like, is the game worth getting? And like we've obviously had I'm trying to be objective about this. We've had a really good time with the game, but we've only personally, I've only had a really good time because I've been playing it with people, and I like. The performance is fine. The lag is a little bit irritating to me. The structured missions are well, they're not broke, but they're very difficult to do. The interface, especially for me as like a predominantly PC gamer, really bad for me to navigate around.
It's really rough.
I can understand if somebody reads something like the Rock Paper Shotgun article I showed you and would be like, Jesus Christ, I'm not buying this, it's terrible. I could get that, because I could totally be that person. But simply because I have been a guy with zebra print fucking hipster trousers on and white surgical gloves and a hammer and a purple top hat, just hammering other players to death in the street is just like so ludicrous to me. You can't do that anywhere else. It's a mindless playground, and for that alone, I'd say it's worth it. But you're gonna have to be able to take a beat in as well. Yeah, because you're gonna get I've had my tyres, like you shot the tyres out of my chopper and ran off. And I'm like, you what, mate? Like, my chopper is clipping. It's like, with the race, when we did some of the race missions with some of the crew, somebody shot my tyres out in the race. Like, you can't call the mechanic in the race, or at least I don't think you could. And I'm like, shit, no. I've lost now. And I was like, second or something. It was dirty.
On the other hand, for every time there's someone like the victim of that, there's like on that dirt bike race we did where I managed to fire those rockets and kill everybody but me.
Yeah.
Everyone died. That was one of the most fun things I've done in a game, because it was like I expected to hit one person.
Crazy GTA moments, ain't
just
they?
Yeah, just to have everything go and be the only person driving away, looking over my shoulder, and everything behind me is just a massive explosion. It was just like, this is fucking amazing. I love this. And for all the moments where like someone doesn't shoot out your tyres and drive off like a wanker, or you do get like scoped in the head from a multi-story car park, there's more moments of you doing something ridiculous than something bad being done to you. And the thing is, it's all kind of so over the top and so mental that when your tyres do get shot out, it's not that much of a big deal, because it's just like, oh bloody hell, what the hell am I going to do now? But there's going to be someone behind you who's been shot in the head and has had to start from 4 checkpoints back anyway. So it's like, it's all kind of...
Yeah, it's a good fun... I mean, again, you could kind of compare it to our experience with STO. It's just fun. It's just... You're not playing it for any point. I mean, you're just playing it because it's stupid and it's just such a laugh. It's unbelievable. You know, you're not really going to... You can't really... Well, I guess you could min-max in it. You could run around with body armor on and all kinds of stuff. I mean, you could buy like armored helmets and shit, but... A purple top hat is way better than an armored helmet. You know, it's.
I'm not going to wear a bulletproof vest if it means people can't see my prison bitch T-shirt. So
it's stupid. I mean, what the hell? I mean, yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. But obviously, guys, comment below and all the rest of that stuff on the GTA. The last topic, well, actually, before we go to the last topic, mods as well on GTA. This is something I'm looking forward to. It is now moddable after some guy. ENB claimed it wasn't, but now it is apparently. I think
he's the guy who, he does shaders. Like he did a shader pack for GTA 4, and he declared that GTA 5 was completely unmoddable, which is actually not true. It might not be moddable for him due to the way he actually writes his mod, but people turned up immediately and went, "I don't know what you're talking about. We've got all the files we need to mod it. We just need to unpack them," and someone's already done it. So some crazy Russian guy has already got access and is able to mod the game. So
yeah, like what I'm going to say is I was going to show the forum to the NB forum, but I'm not going to show that because it's horrendously racist from the NB guy. But yeah, like it is moddable, and I know there's a field of view mod has come out already for the first person, which could be good. I mean, there'll be other crazy mods coming out because, well, yeah, it does need a field of view mod. I mean, the FOV you can increase it, but it's not enough, and it does really feel console-ified. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see where that goes. The last thing we want to talk about is this. Now, this is Friday is like a big Star Wars event thing that goes down. I think this goes down every year. I'm not sure, but even if it doesn't, why it's interesting to us is because this is when the very first footage, in-game footage of Star Wars Battlefront will be available, and it's going to be live streamed on YouTube, and I would guess Twitch as well, although I'm not sure. But this is tomorrow,
you kind of assume so.
Yeah, this is tomorrow. So we don't know what's going to happen with this, but we can obviously talk about what needs to happen. And like we've spoke about this on HOTFIX before, but they really, 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 really need to not make a mess of this game. Because,
they absolutely cannot screw this up.
No, they can't. My current situation with Battlefield is this. Battlefield 4 is now a fairly decent game, and you could play it. Battlefield Hardline, I've never played it, apart from the beta, even though EA gave me the game. I installed it, and I've never played it, because it's crap.
I've got that installed on Origin.
You know,
I've not touched it.
A lot of the Battlefield channels, they still play Battlefield 4. They don't really play Hardline because it's not really a successor.
It's not a fucking Battlefield game.
No. I mean, obviously they covered it because they would have been paid by EA to do that. And, you know, Battlefield Hardline does have some bits and pieces in it, I guess, but it's still not very good, in my opinion. It's a stupid filler bit of game content just to make extra money because they haven't finished other Battlefield games. But this could be a massive, this could be make or break for DICE in my eyes, because this is Star Wars. Everyone knows what this is. People have played the Battlefront games of old. They know what they were like.
This is
They're
the
franchise.
franchise.
Yeah. This is like, if you fuck this up and it is like some horrendous Battlefield bullshit hardline effort, then it's going to be bad. I mean,
they're going to be dead in the water if they screw it up.
Okay, so it's going to be. I mean, I know people who've played this, the technical alpha of this, and they've said it's okay, but obviously it's a technical alpha. It's got like no textures or anything. It's just like they could see what they're going for on that. But beyond that, I can't really go into much detail. But we know it's going to be Battlefield eyes, isn't it? A little bit. You know, it's going to have all the unlocks. It's going to have all kinds of stupid shit going on, and like, oh, I've unlocked a bloody green lightsaber and God knows what, and multicolored lightsabers, lightsaber variations, all that mad stuff. That's going to go on. We know that's going to go on. What we need to make sure, or they need to make sure, is that the game is actually a full-scale battle between, you know, the rebels and the Empire. And like, you know, I want to play Hoth. I want to be in a fucking, you know, I want to win and be involved in a massive murder on Hoth bloke. I'm afraid that's what I want. I want a massive fight in the Death Star. I want to be flying an X-wing around the Death Star while there's people in the Death Star fighting each other, and I want to blow the Death Star up. And that's what wins the mission. This is what they need.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of Battlefield 2140, whatever, the sci-fi one. They had a Titan mode where there was these two Titans, and you had to get into the core of the enemy Titan and blow it up. I want that, like the Death Star, and I want the Empire protecting
on a
this.
starship.
Well, I just want the Death Star, bloke. The fucking Death Star. And I want it to be... The rebels have got to get down the fucking trench and blow it up, and they've got to be stopped by the fucking Empire. Players on turrets. I mean, that's what I want. There's no excuse not to do this, right? You know, I want, like, massive fucking space fleet battles as well. This might be a bit over the top. But that's what I want. I want, like, massive battles on Hoth. I want, like, fucking... I want to kill Jar Jar Binks. I don't know why he'd be in it. Please don't be in it. Christ.
But it needs to be the Battlefront games of old.
Yeah.
With like proper, just modernized in every
way.
Well,
the graphics should look shit hot, shouldn't they? This is Frostbite 2 or 3 or whatever it is.
It needs to look amazing, and it needs to have decent shooting mechanics. But it all they need to do is look at the old games and go, like, this is what people want. This is what people need out of a Battlefront game. That's what EA
should have done for SimCity, and they didn't. This is what worries you.
Yeah, well, that's the problem for me, is whether they're actually going to do it or not, because they've proven a couple of times really that they look at what people want and then they go, I don't think you really want that. I mean, when you look at Dragon Age 2 compared to Dragon Age Origins was praised for what it was, so they changed what it was.
Yeah.
Why? Then you look at you could even look at the Battlefield series. Battlefield 4, it had a rough start. It got a lot better, and it's got a massive player base. So what did they do? Well, they made Battlefield Hardline, which is like ostensibly a completely different concept, and it's just had the Battlefield name slapped onto it, so it'll sell, not because it's actually a Battlefield game. So that's the worry. That's the worry. That in actual fact, it'd be really easy to make a Battlefront game, but will they make a Battlefront game, or will they make Star Wars Battlefield? Because I wouldn't put it past them. It would be stupid. I'm not saying it wouldn't be bloody stupid, but I really wouldn't put it past them. And it kind of leaves me a little bit... I'm looking forward to seeing what it actually is. Like, I'm looking forward to it, but the same time, I'm going to be waiting to be disappointed. I'm hoping I'm not, but I'm prepared for the fact that I might be.
The thing is, like, I mean, there is so much they could do with this, and if they just straight up give us like really bland like maps and bland, like, I mean, like I've just said about I want to fly down the Death Star trench and blow the fucking Death Star up, and I want like somebody invade this crazy interceptor chasing me down, you know. If that's not a thing, or there isn't things of that kind of epic like experience that you would expect of a Star, well, I mean, you just watch the films, any crazy shit from that's what you want in the game. Those massive battles being recreated. If you don't get that, then I will be very disappointed. I mean, talking about the shooting mechanics, they should be fine because they should just be using Battlefield 4. You know, all of the underlying, you know, movement and stuff like that, and yada yada yada. Maybe the animation to some extent, but obviously they'll have special animations for lightsabers and God knows what. That
if they make us fight that fucking battle from the new trilogy with those stupid Jar Jar Binks underwater sea idiots versus those shitty droids, I will lose my shit. Do not make us play that. No one.
To be fair, though,
Star Wars.
Well, the other one, which actually was in one of the Battlefront games, wasn't it? I remember this being in one of the games that I played. I don't know what the battle is, but it's got the clone army in it against the droids. But that one's quite good.
Yeah.
I remember playing that in the game. That's okay. Like, but I don't know. I mean, this is supposed to be set after Return of the Jedi, isn't it? This is before the new film. I hope they kind of. I think this is before. I think the single player has got something to do with characters in the new Star Wars film. So it's sort of leading on from that, you know. And a lot of the stuff we see is all the traditional stuff, like, you know, Star Destroyers, Super Star Destroyers, and things like that. It's not like fucking trade droids and shit like that. You know, it's not none of that crap. Which is what we want. And I mean, I keep going on about lightsabers. I'm not even sure there's lightsabers. There must be. There has to be fucking lightsabers.
Yeah, there's got to be.
You know, and force powers and stuff like that. There's got to be. You know, I remember Jedi Academy. That was quality. Was it Jedi Academy 2? Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Academy, something like that. Where you could run around in the Death Star with the lightsaber. It's third person, and you could like.
See, I never played Jedi Academy. I played the one before. I played Jedi Knight 2, but I can't remember what the subtitle was.
Yeah, it's Star Wars Jedi Knight Academy 3, something or other. That had crazy multiplayer because you just would run around and butcher each other, and it had like iconic bits where, you know, where Obi-Wan turns off the is it the tractor beam or whatever? Off the thing where it goes, he turns it down. You could fight in there, and it was really funny because you could walk into that area and, like, if you had like force choke, you could choke someone and chuck them off the bridge. It was like, good play.
Yeah, that was the thing I really liked about that. You had all the crazy powers that like had force lightning and force choke, and you could push and you could pull and stuff. I want that. That's what I want. That's what I want out of that. Any game that involves Star Wars, frankly, but especially like a Battlefront game. That's what it should be.
Well, I suppose we get to see what it's going to be like tomorrow, but I would imagine it will be a highly edited to make it look like it's. I'd be very surprised if they actually just straight up show in game footage. It'll be
really edited.
Yeah, it'll be no UI. It'll be like set pieces. That's what I'd imagine. If they do show in game footage, I'll be very surprised. With the UI up and people taking part in a battle, that would be obviously what I want to see. I don't want to see some fucking edited crap, but it'll be the first chance to see something tangible from the game. And it'll be interesting to see what's going on, and no doubt there'll be a lot of fallout from that as people are either impressed or not impressed. But ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll end HOTFIX at that because we've gone over quite a few topics, because this week there's been quite a lot of news, and obviously major launches like GTA 5, and I guess you could put Mortal Kombat into that. Mr. Kirioff, have you got any famous last words?
Go and join the GTA crew. By the look of it, we'll still be playing that game for quite some time. There's really quite a big crew in there, and, you know, if you want to do heists with Unit Lost members, who are clearly the best gamers in the world, then it's the place to be. There will be a link in the description, because I cannot remember the URL off the top of my head. It's something complex and above mere mortals like myself, but it will be there. Ladies and gentlemen, as ever, thanks for subscribing to Unit Lost. Thanks for watching HOTFIX. Give the video a like if you do like the video. Even if you dislike what we say, do not dislike the video. Like the video because you still enjoyed it, but comment as to why. You know, I like to see people who agree and disagree. What I don't want is an army of people who just agree with what I say. I've seen that with a lot of other YouTube channels, and it's just stupid to me, because I'm like, just because a guy says something doesn't mean it's true. Have your own opinions, ladies and gentlemen.
And I think on that, I think I'll leave it, Mr. Kirioff, and I'll see you later. I mean, I would show you like McGee, but McGee, like that's my hand. McGee's gone. McGee just left.
I can show you. Hang on, I've got a dog. I can... Come here.
I've got a dog.
Come here. There you go. There she is.
You what, mate?
Look at that.
Bingo.
What a beast.
Bingo.
Who's that?
Bingo.
No. Who's that over there?
Bingo. Hello.
Who's that? Oh, what are you doing?
You don't seem to care.
Don't lick.
Ah.
No, just not interested. She's just there. Look at her. She's just got it.
Well.
Hello. Oh, no. Not the nose.
We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll catch you next time. Toodaloo.